Welcome back, hockey fans, to episode 22 of Lightin the Lamp. I'm your host, Dola, and with me, as always, from the East Coast, my co-host with the most, JG. How we doing, pal?
Good, man. How are you, brother? How's everything over there on the Gold Coast? Nice and warm, I'm hoping.
Dude, we got in the Santa Ana winds past couple days, been 100 and been 95, been absolutely cooking out here. We haven't been able to even leave the house until the sun's been getting going down just because Wrigley hates the heat. But other than that, it's been pretty nice. Just getting out on the links again tomorrow. Got a client that wants to get out there, so just doing a little golfing again. And can you believe it, man? I mean, how long has it been since we just watched the Stanley Cup being raised, but now we're here back on the lamp with things to talk about already? We already said we're going to have more shit to talk about, but what was it, 2 days, 3 days, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, not even, and we have plenty to talk about. I mean, just between award winners, trades, the offseason, contract extensions. I mean, you have numerous things to talk about, but been good over here on the East Coast too, man. Losing the weather, starting to get a little cool here. Fall is here, 65 degrees right now. Beautiful, but a couple days here, and we're headed for the 40s. So not too excited about that. It is what it is. But and a big loss tonight too. Talked about that with you earlier. Big loss tonight in the offs. Boys did not perform. Up 3-1, give up 4 goals with 6.5 to go. Just not the performance you want. So hoping to get off to a better start here on the lamp with my buddy.
Here you go. Well, let's get it going. Let's light this lamp here quick. But as always, let's introduce some beers. I got always my boot built off the back of a beautiful Budweiser Tall Boy Anheuser-Busch. You just really make me work for it. But
yeah,
shout out as well to Modern Times Beer, going out to their brewery in Anaheim this weekend called Leisure Town. Going to be a good time. Have some cocktails and some beers with the friends, and we're going to be lighting it up. What you got over there for me before I light this lamp and we get into talking about the Stanley Cup wrap-up and as well all the NHL award winners for the year? What do you got for me?
Starting off with a little Sammy Adams Boston Lager, something traditional. Then we're going to move over here into a little Victory Hop Devil IPA. Just a couple of beers I've drank before, a couple of beers I enjoy once in a while, and nothing crazy right now. A little late over here on the East Coast for the start, so not trying to get too out of control here tonight at 11:15 p.m.
Dude, we definitely put a few back during that 2-hour segment during the live of the Stanley Cup Game 6. Ooh. I think I had a few too many put back there, but that was all right because we lit the lamp, and here we go again.
Hurting in the morning. It's hurting in the morning. Gotta wake up. That'll wake you up.
Right after dinner, it's all gonna collide on itself. But here we go. Cracking the Modern Times, boot in the books. JG, let's start it off. We're going to get into all the NHL award winners. We're going to talk about – how about this? Let's talk about the Stanley Cup, the wrap-up, the game wrap-up, everything you saw, the celebrations. You see anything in the parade? Tell me what you saw.
Oh, man. I saw a police department that allowed the boys to do whatever the fuck they wanted. And let me tell you, fantastic job by Tampa Bay. I mean, probably the best celebration I've seen. And at what a good time, because the governor of Tampa Bay just opened the whole entire state. The governor of Florida opened the whole entire state to 100% capacity. So what a parade they had down the waterway there on the Wave Runners. The boys, full coolers. Patty Maroon could barely speak. Well-deserved after back-to-backs. I mean, just an impressive celebration. I mean, for me, might have topped the Washington Capitals celebration.
I gotta say,
then marching down the water on little boats and Wave Runners with the boys and just getting mangled and nobody stopping you. Everybody knows what you're doing. Just interacting with the fans. I mean, the boys were buzzing. You couldn't understand a word half of them were saying. It was awesome. Really was truly awesome. I mean, it was one of the better celebrations I've seen in NHL Stanley Cup history in my life.
I concur. I gotta say, I think the boat parade has taken things to a new echelon because I gotta say, the Sea-Doos out there with the cup, the boys on the back of the Sea-Doo.
Man, those things are sick. If they wanted to, they could have been doing 80 out there. I mean, just great choice of machinery, great choice of celebration. I mean, you look as excited as me right now. It's just unbelievable.
I was, it's not even something I'm sure 1,000 people have gone on a Sea-Doo with the Stanley Cup, but like until they did it in a boat parade with the guys coming down the lane, I never really thought about it as much. And could you just imagine being able to do that, to have that in your arms as you're ripping around the lake, just some crystal water? Unbelievable. And I gotta say, just really hats off to the boys getting after.
How many more guys do you think you're going to want to sign there now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, did you boys see that? Like, one, I get to go play with Kucherov, Point, Stamkos, Hedman, Vasilevsky, just to name a few. And two, I mean, if we hoist another one, boys, I think we can potentially figure out a way to make the boat parade more epic and start rolling around on a yacht. I mean, who knows?
Dude, I would say without coronavirus, the people, I think you get more people on the water, people throwing their – honestly, it would be like a mix between Mardi Gras and just like everything else. It would be a celebration. I got to say, goddamn. I always love watching the celebration, but
it was just unbelievable. I mean, well-deserved. Obviously, could have probably won it in 5. Didn't get really too lucky there in that overtime. They lose one. They go to 6, and they just close it out. I mean, they just show you how good they are. They were incredible all playoffs. You were a big fan of them from the go. Said you'd like to see them go. A lot of Rangers running through there. Still a couple there. So, I'm happy for them. I couldn't be a better team to win there. Dallas, I wouldn't have been mad if they won either. But, I mean, what a celebration.
I got to say that the interview with Ron Cooper and the entire coaching staff was probably another one of the greatest things I got to watch. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch. Dude, just all of them with the cigars, with the drinks. Like, they were not holding back. They were just like, we are on cloud 9. Interview us if you must, but we don't care. I'm bringing the whole staff. The boys are going after it. And guess what? We're drinking. Shout out to the families. Like, that was a phenomenal wrap-up speech. Like, it was eloquent, beautifully said, and you just see what type of leader Ronnie is. Absolutely incredible. And it was funny how I didn't know that one of the assistant coaches was on the team when Stamkos got signed. He played with them, was with them, now part of the organization. What we've seen in New York with Chris Drury and other players before, right? And now all of a sudden, guys hoisting the cup just on the other side of the fence, not on the ice, but as a coach, I loved it. Loved all of it.
Let's not overlook Dallas either. I mean, just battled all through the playoffs, beat some really good hockey clubs, beat a team I thought was going to beat them in 5. Hot take, a really horrible hot take, obviously, after they end up in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup. But they were incredible. They were heavy. They were fast. They got scoring from all 4 lines. The defense was just incredible. Miro Heiskanen, Klingberg. I don't think I've ever seen a guy walk the blue line like John Klingberg. I mean, the power play,
he moved. He was all over the place.
He dances on the blue line. It's like it's just amazing what he can do. How he gets shots through. Just a couple of great defensemen there. You got some young up and coming guys. Eston Lindell, Rupe Hintz. You got Kiviranta, however the hell you say his name. Sorry, pal, because you were incredible. But I mean, just incredible. What a cup. What a cup.
Jamie Benn was just heartbroken in the interview. Like, I don't know if you saw his interview, but it was pretty hard to see. Like, basically people were asking him questions just like, how does this feel? What do you think about this team? And he was just like, next question. It's like, what do you want me to say? Like, this fucking blows. Like, I love these boys. We went through everything, and he's the leader, and it's just like he didn't get it done, and it just it was heartbroken.
boys,
Yeah.
and you know that.
Did you see Sagan is now up for surgery on his wrist, ankle, and knee?
Yeah, yeah.
Bro, like, are you kidding me? Like, you
And
had like
still, but see, that's the problem. Everybody wants to talk shit. Oh, he's got to get it done. He's got to get it done. You go out there with a torn MCL, a fractured wrist, a cracked ankle, and try and get it done. And he was effective in the roles that they used him in while being hurt in 3 major fucking places. Like, you got to see at the end of the series. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of guys on Tampa Bay, once they're done drinking off the pain, they're going to be going and getting their stuff checked out. It'll be a few weeks, I'm sure. They're feeling good right now. They're not going to be feeling any pain for at least 14 days. I mean, they're in paradise down there in Tampa Bay. A lot of great partying. So those guys will get checked out soon enough. I don't think they're really too worried right now. But, the boys in Dallas, they were dinked up, man, just like every other team that makes it to the Stanley Cup. I mean, you don't go through 16 to 28 games of battle and hell out there and killing each other and fighting for every inch and come out with nothing. It just doesn't happen. So, hats off to both teams. It was a fantastic series, an unbelievable celebration to cap it. Very happy for Shattenkirk, McDonough. It was awesome. It really was. But let's head into the trophies here, man. Let's head for it.
Okay.
We did a lot of cup talk, a couple episodes. I mean, we talked on Tampa Bay and Dallas for probably the last 3 months here. So,
all right. Well, there it is, fans. NHL 2020 Stanley Cup champions, Tampa Bay Lightning. Absolutely thriller of a celebration. We loved it, but we're about to get into all the full year award winners for all the goal, for everything, for basically anything that was given out. And we're going to start with the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy, which was the most goals during the regular season. And actually, Alexander Ovechkin and David Pastrnak co-won the trophy with 48 goals during the regular season. And what about between these two monsters of goal scorers?
Man.
Like, just Ovechkin passing what, 800? Was it 800 or 700 this year? Because he has a major milestone this year.
I believe it was 700. He's like 100. He's not even like 100 from Gretzky. Or like 130 or something. Which if he plays 3 more seasons, I mean, he scores 40 to 50 a season like nothing.
And he scores 50 a season every season, almost like 40. Yeah, 40.
Going down either. Like that's the scary part. He doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
No, man, he's an incredible. So he has NHL totals 706 goals. So it's 700, but correct. He's not far off Gretzky. He's coming for him, and I say 2 more seasons, and he's probably into the echelon of the 800s catching Gretzky. So
Gretzky's 894. If he plays till he's 40, and Yager
4 more years
played 5, he's 35 right now. So if he plays till he's 40 and he scores 30 a season, he's 30 or 40 away. And there's no way he's scoring. He's scoring 50 for at least 2 more seasons.
Dude, he's scoring 120 of them from right above the left top circle on the power play, and he's putting it right above a goaltender's face.
I mean, dude, like 894 goals. Like nobody ever thought that they would touch Gretzky's goal record, and he is. Although on the other side of the fence, age-wise, he hasn't slowed down, and he's fucking close, man. If he keeps tooting on the Russian gas out there, he's gonna be buzzing around for another 4 or 5 years. Those boys in Russia, something about him, something in the water. I don't know what it is, but he's
got his kids now. You don't think he wants to become just an even more hero than he already is by passing the greatest of all time?
Still got a nice roster over there.
Get a nice cup, figure it out. I don't think he's going away for a while. I think he's built the same way Yager is, where it's just like, what do you mean when hockey ends? I'm not really confused.
He's playing till he's 42 for sure.
They're going to pull his dead body off the ice at 90. Like, there was some guy that died at 99. He died like a day after playing a men's league game 2 days before. It's going to be like some shit like that, Yeah,
for sure. He's going to play in the NHL. He's going to try and surpass Yager for sure. Yeah. That would be my guess. Like, that's probably a goal in the back of his head right now. Like, I could play in this league for another 9 years at this pace.
But look at Pasta, dude. We didn't even talk about Pasta.
Unbelievable, bro. Out of nowhere. I don't even like when was he drafted? Like he wasn't like a high first rounder, was he? I think he was like 15 or so.
I don't know, but David Pastrnak has just been coming the fuck on. Like, holy shit. Like it was weird because you watched him even in the bubble playoff series, and amazing. Joe, I didn't even mention it, but I saw a stat today. There was 130 games from the start to finish that we actually got to cover here on the Lamp. We covered 130 hockey games of just content, and it's just so much that happened. And it's crazy how much when you saw how David Pastrnak made shit happen, even when it looked like he wasn't trying, like it was effortless to him. He was just in the right spot, or he just took a rip right from a top of the circle. But he didn't look like he was as fully of a force as what we saw out of a lot of other superstars, right? And I would say Ovechkin was in that same place in the bubble. But I mean, just like during the regular season, these guys were unstoppable, literally unstoppable until I feel like we hit that little speed bump,
Absolutely. I mean, and we're not going to slow down here either, man. We're not going to slow down. I mean, we got a lot of content coming up. So let's what do we got next here? The Hart Memorial.
So the Hart Memorial, this was hard. This was a hard one to swallow for me. I do have to say, I was just
agreed.
You know what? We can't deny it. Like, I mean, he should have won. Like, he had 110 points in 60 games.
We are biased because we are blue shirts, everything. But I mean, the pace in which he scored at, the team in which he scored for, like, there's no reason Panarin shouldn't have won, I thought.
Oh my God. Yeah, we Artemi, bread, baby. We were all for you for the Hart. We wanted it. We wished for it. Like, oh my God. But Leon Draisaitl, big W there for the Hart Memorial. 110 points in like 60 games, 62 games. Pretty fucking ridiculous what he was doing. I mean, he was on a line with Connor McDavid, and McDavid had 90-something points, and basically those two were just wheeling and dealing. I don't even know who the third person on their line is, but probably best day ever for you on your stat sheet, because I don't know how you don't clean up with at least 40, 50 points being on a line with those two, right? It'd be almost impossible.
You could put Ryan Reeves on a line with those two guys, and he would score 50.
That's what I'm saying. When you have the two most dangerous players, two of the most dangerous players in the league on the same line with each other, it's incredible. But kind of amazing that McDavid just not even part of the conversation on that one.
We haven't even talked about McKinnon either. I mean, he was obviously in the conversation, but yeah, that is crazy that McDavid wasn't a part of the conversation.
I mean, I think they couldn't put both Draisaitl and McKinnon on it. But Nathan McKinnon just as deserving. Like, I mean, putting the team on his back, incredible. While he was in the bubble playing, and in the regular season, holy shit, dude, come on.
In the bubble, to me, he honestly
best player. He was the best player.
Never mind that, he to me made himself the number one player in the NHL going into next season. Hot take.
Not even a hot take. That is a cold, dead body take.
I love Connor McDavid, and I think he could very well take that reign right back over with a stellar, healthy season. I mean, it's 100% possible. He's filthy. There's no question about it. But right now, McKinnon, he made a statement. He made a power statement that Colorado's here to stay, and that they're not far off. They caught the injury bug there, a little goaltending issues. And I think they're going to go right over that and fix that in the offseason here. They'll find a goaltender, and they'll shore up whatever they need to shore up. And I think that's your beast of the West next year, to be honest with you. I think if they don't go to the conference final, I'm going to be really, really, really shocked.
Joe Sakic is going to figure out a way. Him and like Stevie Y just can eye talent just like with the best.
You think Hank goes on a 1-year deal?
Oh, my God. He should do that. Can you imagine almost like the same Ray Bork story for Hank, where played his entire life?
Part of it, he appreciates it. He might very well do that, man. Think about it. Hank, 1 year, $4 million, 1 year, 3.5. With the goaltending situation you currently have, you could dump both goaltenders, take Hank at 1 year, 4 to 3.5, and grab another guy. There's plenty on the market at 3 to 4 million, and you have a tandem like every other team in the league.
And not to mention, Hank is like the best Game 7 goaltender. You get him going. He's only lost in his all Game 7s. He's 6-2. One came at the beginning of his career, and one came in I think it was either a playoff or I don't know what, it was an Eastern Conference final year, I think, where the Devils beat us or some crazy thing to go to the Stanley Cup. But I gotta say, I would hope and I pray that Hank goes to Colorado or some great team that's on the rise. Unfortunately, if he does go, we're gonna have to root for them and not the Rangers, just because we want to see him win the cup. But
let's get back on the trophy subject here, because as always, we get excited and Rangers players come up and we start flying all over the place. But
I mean, I don't think we're in much better case on this one. James Norris Trophy, best NHL defenseman, Roman Josi from Nashville Predators. Hard pill to swallow. I wanted to see John Carlson win this one. I mean, being from Jersey, sharing the ice with that guy, just knowing that it's like, listen, like we were across the ice at Turcotte camps. At how many hockey camps were we at? Danny O'Brien camps.
We played
with him on the ice in the locker room with the kid.
We played Rockets. We split the ice with the 90s. We were the 91 team. They had the 90 team on the other side of the ice. We scrimmaged with them. We did our power play penalty kill with them. So,
Danny O'Brien plucked everyone from our group to go to the junior A team, or you found an AJ or EJ, whatever you had to do after that. That was the team that led into a great junior A Rockets program at the time. Like probably the best junior program in the state at the time.
At that time, yes. At that time, 100%. I mean, a lot of good players. It was a hard pill to swallow for me. The problem was he was so hot the first 60% of the season. He kind of slowed down there the latter half, and Roman Josi was a man on fire for the last 40 games of the season. So I think you kind of get a little voting bias just on who you're watching right now. Because, yes, you watch Carlson do the same thing, but to compare it from 4 months ago, I think they just don't want to do it. I think they just see whoever is the best right this second and at the end of the season, and that's their pick for the trophy. So, I mean, you can't be mad about the pick. It's a great pick. I would have loved to see Carlson get it. Hedman with the Conn Smythe, it would have been a great year for him to get a Norris and a Conn Smythe. I mean, any three of the guys could have got it, but Roman Josi swings in there. He has an insane last 35, 40 games, and he grabs the trophy here. I mean, can't be mad about it.
You can imagine, and maybe I don't know, because I don't know when these two were awarded the James Norris and the Vezina, but it's just like, Hedman going for that one, wins the Conn Smythe, just absolutely comes on in the playoff bubble, just like another man on fire, right? Just like almost tying Leach, almost tying wow, I'm blanking on the name. Top one of the NHL. Who is it? I had a stick curve for a while. We'll come back to that, but
Forsberg?
No. He was the defenseman. No, the most defenseman goals.
Nicholas Lidstrom. You didn't have the square toe? Sick curve.
No, it's Paul Coffey. It's Paul Coffey.
Paul Coffey. I had the Sherwood curve numerous times.
Yeah, that was it.
Woody.
But so I mean, he came on in a way that I guess Josi never did. Nashville never even had a chance. They were not in it for nearly any time to go forward in the bubble to maybe even make a run at it.
The Norris is decided on the season. That had nothing to do with the bubble. So, that voting is done based on 82 games. It has nothing to do with the playoff. Same with the Vezina. All these trophies that we're talking about are regular season awards. So, I mean, at the end of the day, Josi snags it. I'm not too mad about it, but next one I love. I really do love. What a story. College guy, UMass Lowell, plays a couple of years there, comes out of the NAHL. I forget exactly what program he played for. Was an absolute stud in the NA. I followed him while he was down there, and when he signed with UMass Lowell, a friend of mine was playing there, so got to watch him play a lot at UMass Lowell, and just an absolute force in the Hockey East. So anybody that's a force in that division of college hockey, you see Chris Kreider, Kevin Hayes, Johnny Gaudreau, all come from the Hockey East. So, Ryan Whitney, shout out, Spittin' Chicklets, PU, also a Hockey East stud, 5th overall draft pick. So, anybody that dominates the Hockey East usually comes to the NHL and has a pretty good road. So very happy to see him win as a U.S. college guy. I think it was awesome. I didn't really love Tuukka Rask. He had a great season. Vasilevsky could have easily won it, but really happy to see a U.S. college guy win it.
I don't really have too much of a comment, either way. I mean, obviously you're for Hellebuck. I would just say, just it would have like amazing to see, Vasilevsky be able to capture the Vezina and, being also a Conn Smythe candidate potentially. I guess he was number 4 because you had Hedman, Kucherov, or Hedman Point Kucherov actually, and then Vasilevsky. So he was 4th on the list, but I gotta say, hats off to him. He grabbed a cup, and yeah, good for Connor grabbing a Vezina. Not everyone gets to do it. Hank only grabbed 1, even though he was nominated 3 times. So I mean, we'll see how many times he could grab one in his career. But cheers, buddy. I mean, Winnipeg. We'll see you next year, and obviously a long career ahead of you.
I'm just a big U.S. college. Anybody from U.S. college hockey, like I played a lot of my junior up in the New England area, so I got to go to a few bean pots and some awesome college games, see some really good players play and guys that have moved on to the NHL, and just have an affinity for the U.S. college guy. So I was really happy to see him win it.
Yeah, for sure. So let's take a look at the next one, the Rookie of the Year trophy, the Calder, big one, top rookie.
Such a controversial. A lot of people didn't like this. A lot of people thought Quinn Hughes should have absolutely won it. I thought it could have went either way, and it was a dead-on 50-50. And Cale Makar wins it again. Another Hockey East, UMass Amherst alum. So, you see anybody powerhouse Hockey East, like I just said, fucking unbelievable. Hot take, Hockey East rules the world. Calder Memorial Trophy, Cale Makar. Just what a stud. Do you see how he moves out there? East, west, north, south. Guy flies. He's got a rocket for a shot. I mean, just absolutely incredible young player. Amazing how he just walked into the league and had no problem becoming a stud right away.
I just feel like Cale Makar and Miro Heiskanen are going to be the, Erik Karlsson and Victor Hedman for the next 6 years, right? Like the young guns that will develop into those stars that, we're going to talk about for forever. And he's definitely one of them. And Heiskanen is definitely going to be on the list. And I think Quinn Hughes is going to be on the list. And overall is going to be on the list. There's going to be so many of these young hot defensemen coming up in a big way.
I mean, we didn't even talk about Dominic Kubalik. I mean, he was absolutely incredible. So another guy that you look forward to seeing play with the likes of Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves and Alex DeBrincat, Ryan Strome. A lot of good young talent over there in Chicago, making a little turnaround here. So, a lot of talent on this list here. Kubalik definitely deserved to be the 3rd guy in the making there. Didn't think he quite did what the other 2 guys did. So really never thought he had a chance, but he was absolutely awesome. Hats off to him. But Quinn Hughes might feel like he got robbed, and a lot of people agree with him, but I thought it was 50-50, and I like the choice again because I'm a big U.S. college guy. So I love this. I think it's awesome that U.S. college hockey's on the map. U.S. hockey is very much on the map. It's nice to see.
It's kind of crazy, though, just, Quinn Hughes, Jack Hughes, same year, rookie year together, coming into the league, and the older brother on the list of top rookie candidates. Younger brother.
Also U.S. college guys, man. I mean, again, U.S. college guys ruling the roost here on this list. Like Quinn Hughes, Jack Hughes, Michigan guys. I don't think Jack Hughes made it to Michigan, but Quinn Hughes sure did. And
Quinn Hughes spent a couple years in college. I think Jack could have used maybe 1 or 2 years.
But he was committed to Michigan before he decided to go to the Devils. But Quinn Hughes was a Michigan guy, and he was unbelievable in college, electric, to say the least. So, just a lot of firepower coming out of different places all over this list. The OHL, the U.S. college, the WHL, the Q. Talent's coming from everywhere, man. The talent pool in hockey right now is just something special.
So Absolutely. Let's get into the other awards. These are all the awards that are kind of given by, I think the league votes on these, or the athletic, it's a bunch of newspapers or a given judgeship. The rest of them are voted on by the players, the NHL Players Association. So the Ted Lindsay Award, forward votes, most outstanding player by the NHLPA. So all the hockey guys actually get a vote on who gets these awards. And Leon Draisaitl, same thing basically as the Hart. It was the same candidates, I'm pretty sure, for this award as it was. So it was the exact same candidates between Panarin, between McKinnon, between Draisaitl. And, I think the players just responded in the same way. They just, what he did in the games played, the points amount was just, it was unheard of.
You got to realize he went on a stretch where he had way more points than he had games played, and McDavid was out for quite a bit while he did it. He was out for about 30 games, and Draisaitl carried the load and absolutely went on a tear. And I think that's why he's, McDavid is overlooked this year. The injury kind of held him back, and Draisaitl just was all over it. He just went on an absolute tear.
And so, picking up 2 awards, the Ted Lindsay and the Hart Trophy. Big awards. Adding just it to the shelf. No Stanley Cup. So, he might be like one of those guys like Stamkos, right? Like just collecting every award possible, every Ted Lindsay, Hart, Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy, but we'll see if he can go out there and capture a cup. But I got to say, what a year for Draisaitl, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, this one was another one that hurt. This was a tough pill to swallow. We had Hank in this one, but the King Clancy Memorial Trophy, Matt Dumba Sports Award given to the National Hockey League player who best exemplifies leadership qualities on and off the ice. Matt Dumba has been a big just proponent of diversity, inclusion, and exposure inside and outside the community. Obviously, just a big voice right now for the NHL and in his community.
Yeah, you can't, as much as I wanted Hank here, in a time of some racial unrest in the country, some weird things going on that we're dealing with, Matt Dumba he's definitely an example of all of this. He fits the bill pretty well, so you can't argue it.
And PK Subban, another absolute. I love PK Subban. I think everything he brings to the NHL is fantastic. I think he's got a lot of swag, a lot of style. I actually love the Ugly Duckling podcast and show on YouTube. I think he does a good job of just sharing his opinions about the NHL. But listen, the guy's a star, and I think he's kind of doing it right in terms of not only helping bring attention to the league, he plays well, hits hard, plays physical, but he also reaches out and
he's all over the community. He's getting kids from inner cities playing hockey. He's doing everything a guy who makes $8.5 million and is a face of a NHL franchise in most cases when he's there should be doing. So it's nice to see that some of these guys are so involved and making sure that they use their reach and their money and everything else to get into the community. So a lot of good guys on the list, including Hank. All 3 of them are just class act. So
Hank's our guy. We'll talk about him in the next episode. It's going to be a heartbreaker.
We'll get started on him right now. So I love you, Hank.
Hats off to you. And, that's what we'll leave it. But, obviously super excited about more exposure to the NHL and especially in, communities of color. Cause that's probably another big reason why NHL, you look at like the viewership on the night of the Stanley Cup, you had Monday Night Football, you had Dancing with the Stars. Yeah, like Monday Night Football at like 20 million, Dancing with the Stars at 20 million. You had like reruns of TV, and then you had the Stanley Cup with 3 million viewers. And it's like, come on. Like, what are we doing, guys? Like, that can't be true.
A great sport. It really is. It should reach into more communities for sure. But, headed into the next trophy here.
The Bill Masterson Trophy
is the trophy awarded annually to the National Hockey League player who best exemplifies the qualities of perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to ice hockey. So, three guys on here who battled with individually different kind of things, and I really thought my pick would have been Oscar Lindbaum. Just what a story!
Real talk. Oh my
But
God.
Bobby Ryan just coming out, kind of telling you everything going on in his life and letting you know, kind of that what he's battling with, and letting you be a part of it and going to fix it, and then coming back and playing pretty well for the Senators there down the stretch after doing, all the things he needed to do rehab wise and stuff like that. And just a hell of a story. I don't mind the pick at all. I'm just a little disappointed that, the guy wins the Masterton Trophy and the guys couldn't let him play for half a season before you kicked him out the door. They buy him out here this week. So little kick in the nuts after winning a trophy and coming back and playing pretty well for a franchise that's kind of fallen apart. So,
listen, I think it may be another, maybe it's another situation of, they need to let him go so he can go join another team. I think him winning the Masterson Trophy shows a lot of grit and a lot of a lot of dedication and perseverance, like this says. And I think there's a lot of teams that can use his skill. And I don't think there's anyone out there that's going to be unwilling to hear him out and also bring him into a locker room, because he seems like a guy that, now that he's on the other side of the hill, can bring a lot into a locker room about, and especially some of these young guys that, they might go out and want to drink 30 beers, 40 beers, stay out till 5, 6 a.m. and do whatever, you want to do. But like maybe he says, listen, guys, boys, you got to take care of the body, treat it like a temple. And we're going to be, in the cup, riding down the river with the Sea-Doos at the end of it. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens.
Hot take here. Bobby Ryan and Pat Maroon
to the Rangers.
To the New York Rangers. I like it. I like it. Veterans, guys that could, if you need to scratch them, you can scratch them. They're not going to be miserable about it. They want to play. They're going to compete to play, and they're probably both going to end up being in the lineup for sure. But, I think with, the buyout coming up, which we're going to get into and all that, there's a possibility you have plenty of space for little veteran signings like this. And we definitely need to shore up and get some grit and some perseverance and some sportsmanship. We could use a really polished vet. So, wouldn't be a bad move in my eyes.
What did we talk about though? Those fourth line pieces that score goals, or third, deep pieces that score goals. Because when someone goes down, and like we said, people get bumps, bruises, nicks, pains, and you can insert like a Bobby Ryan and still be electric. It just allows your team to be that more forceful. And what did we see from Tampa? We saw Braden Point and Stamkos and Point not be in games, and Kucherov and other people came and filled in the, the void. And that's just what you have to do. Next man up. And, we'll see. But we really got to take a look at Bobby Ryan, and we hope for good stuff for his future. And welcome to New York. Let's go. We hope. We'll see.
Next trophy here, a great trophy. A fantastic trophy. I love this trophy. The Selke is awarded annually to the National Hockey League forward who demonstrates the most skill in the defensive component of the game. These guys are offensive dynamos while also demonstrating the most skill in the defensive component of the game, which is why this is my favorite trophy, because I love that these guys play the entire sheet of the ice. They don't stop and just wait for the offense. They do everything, and they still managed to contribute 50 to 80 points. This is one of the better trophies handed out. So, I think
this was kind of my
pick here. What do you think about the pick here? Sean Couturier winning the trophy over Patrice Bergeron and Ryan O'Reilly. What's your take?
I didn't watch enough to actually tell you who's better, because this is a trophy where it's not going to show up on the stat sheet, right? Where basically their efforts, offensively can be said, Patrice Bergeron, Sean Couturier, are just incredible offensive powers. But when you watch and give out a trophy like the Selke, it's about someone blocking shots, picking up lanes, picking up hits, back checking, playing
Picking
in
guys off from behind.
and you kind of have to see it to really know like who you wanted to vote for.
This trophy is like, to me, like the epitome of like Datsuk. Like this is the Datsuk trophy. Like he played that kind of game. He pickpocketed guys from behind.
Dude.
Always had a stick on a puck. I mean, just
this
all
was my
over
type
the
of game. I was a center, but I mean, I played everywhere. I could play D, I could play forward, I could play wing. It really didn't matter because I was playing every position every time I was on the ice. And just kind of a jack of all trades and a master of none. But these guys are masters at both of the ends of the ice, and that's why they win this award, right?
I mean, I got to watch quite a bit of Couturier. I have Xfinity cable over here, so we get some of the Philly stuff on my end. So I got to watch some of the Philly hockey. I mean, Couturier, just a warrior, just an absolute warrior, and now he's putting it all together. It took him quite a bit of time. We talked about that 5-year plan with Beauvillier and Barzal and Couturier. It took him a while. He was a third, fourth line guy for 3-4 years, and all of a sudden, he just turns it on. He just turns it on, and what an incredible performance this season. I didn't really get to watch much of Bergeron, much of O'Reilly. I know what O'Reilly does night in and night out, so no surprise.
And Bergeron won it last year. Like, we know what he does all the time.
I mean, they're all on the list for a reason.
And in the bubble, he was incredible too. He was probably Boston's best player. And then Marchand was right behind him. So, I mean, it's amazing that these guys are considered the best defensive forwards because, like you said, they are such powerhouses offensively too. But just what they do, on the back end is incredible.
I can't believe I didn't even realize how many trophies these guys award. Oof. Got a big list here.
Oh, dude, we got so many. I mean, we got the Selke and another one. Obviously, Gretzky's biggest trophy was the Lady Byng. Nathan MacKinnon presented to the player and judge to exhibit the best type of sportsmanship, gentlemanly conduct, but still high ability at playing. Really, it's a dude that takes no penalties, scores a shit ton of goals, and keeps the crowd just buzzing in a way that enforcers don't. And I mean, Wayne Gretzky, he basically was the epitome of this award for how many years? I think he won this like 18 times because no one could touch him in points. And he really was the high standard gentleman on the ice in a sport of a lot of brutes. You know what I mean? And
we get another one here, Ryan O'Reilly. I mean, just comes off the Selke list. He doesn't win either award, but just shows you why he's on the Selke list because he just does it all. I mean, he's just a Nathan MacKinnon, though. I mean, I told you this year, after this season, McDavid missed some games. MacKinnon established just something special in the playoffs. Nathan MacKinnon is the NHL's #1 hockey player going into the 2021 NHL season.
Sure. I gotta say, Nathan MacKinnon. I would say Austin Matthews and Nathan MacKinnon have the same amount of skill, but Nathan MacKinnon is like 10. I feel like 10 times faster than Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews does not have his speed.
He plays a lot
more skill.
He plays a little bit lankier of a game. He's a little longer. He's a little less fast, but he's a little longer. I mean, if you see,
it reminds me of Yager. Remember, Yager's got that big frame where if you try to hit him, you can't move him off a puck. He's controlled. He's moving around. He can pass it. It's fine, but he's not burning you, all the time.
The one difference with Matthews is if you watch the way he shoots the puck, dude, he changes his shot angle just in so many different ways, in so many different positions, and that's just why he's the goal scorer he is. He's gonna score 70 like one of these seasons. I mean, if you watched him last season, he hits 70 posts every 10 games. He hits 5 posts a game. I mean, he did
it in the bubble. He was literally he could have had 5.
He hits a million posts. One of these seasons, the bounces are going to go his way, just like the story's told, and you're going to see this kid score 70. I mean, there's just so many great young hockey players in this game, but nobody right now to me better than Nathan MacKinnon, and that's why he gets the Lady Byng here.
Cheers. I agree with that for sure. So let's get into some more administrative, some backhouse award. So we got the Jack Adams Coach of the Year award, Bruce Cassidy, Coach of the Boston Bruins, President's Trophy winners, had the highest record in the NHL before the basically pause in the season, and they had an incredible year. Honestly, if they didn't have any gas taken out of those tires, who knows what could have happened the rest of the year down the stretch. You know what I mean?
They're always a contender, but I mean, you see some problems coming up here for these guys. Unfortunately, Cassidy's going to have some problems, maybe losing Torrey Krug, and trying to figure out some new line matches here on D and on forward, and it's unfortunate because this year was really an opportunity for them. They were unbelievable. It's a shame they lost when they did, but I'm very happy with the outcome.
How many times did the Capitals win the President's Trophy year in, year out, and then after a few changes later on, the year they didn't win the President's Trophy, they win the Stanley Cup?
Well,
right?
even look at Tampa this year. Like, they had a rough start. They were like 500 for a while. I mean, they came out mediocre, and the GM there. Honestly, I was gonna say, he kind of swept up, Yzerman's leftovers and kind of got to win. But let's take a look at all the moves that he made.
Are we getting into the GM then? Are we getting into it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I went totally off course for some reason. I was very excited about that. I keep looking down.
We're there. But let's go to the gym.
My notes because I'm looking at. I'm just excited about the Jim Gregory. But let's finish here. Excited about Bruce Cassidy winning it. He deserved it. But I really wanted Tortorella as a Rangers fan, to be honest with you. To be honest. Didn't want to because you go to you went to the enemy. So for me, AV, you're officially garbage. I do not like you. Just a hot take there because you went to Philly. I mean, I can't like you. I'm not allowed to like you. So at the end of the day, I really wish Tortorella would have won it. I thought he put a mediocre team into contention. I mean, if they beat Tampa Bay, what could have happened? And they came very close.
I think it's always hard. John Tortorella never needs superstars. He needs misfits. He's like Herb Brooks, right? Like, he just needs chemistry, and he just finds the chemistry between these players, and you never understand like the mixture. But when you see it on the ice, it's like, holy shit! Like, this team is good. Like, they are good. They buy into the culture, that everything with him, and he did it at the Rangers. He's done it everywhere he goes. And with Columbus, like, again, you see him trade players like Duchesne, and I mean, like, we get Panarin, and you look at, like, you're like, oh my God, Duchesne and Panarin are gone. These guys are going to suck. And it's just like, then they do what they do in playoffs, and it's like, there is nothing about this team that sucks. And it's like, damn, Seth Jones and Matt Werenski are just absolutely.
Their defense is top notch. I mean,
it's incredible.
1 through 6, they're very good. They have a lot of other guys that are very good. Obviously, their top 2 are just, I mean, there's not a team in the NHL with 2 defensemen that good.
That good. When we watched them in the playoffs,
there's some defensemen on some hockey teams, but maybe Heiskanen and Klingberg, maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
They are back.
Tortorella's Jackets for me are like a poor man's Islanders. They buy in. They do everything. They love to be with each other. Tortorella gets them fired up. He goes to the media, talks shit. The boys love it. They go off of it, and it works for him. I think he's been I don't know. I can't tell you how many times I heard it the other day, but he's been a Jack Adams Award candidate numerous times. Well,
how many years?
I think over 5. If what I heard was right, it was about 8.
Tortorella, we won the President's Trophy with Tortorella. He was a Jack Adams Award
winner.
Dude, he won the cup with Tampa Bay back in like 2007, or it was like 2000.
We were a mediocre hockey team when he had us, and he did wonders with us. We were mediocre. Dubin, Callahan, like, those guys were good, but they weren't superstars. They were 2nd and 3rd round players that panned out. 20 goal to 50 point guys. Like, we didn't have, other than when Yager was there, we didn't have like
Marty Straka and all that.
He still took these guys and a bunch of raggedy, good very good, but not
Callahan, Kreider, Fost, Hayes, not even Hayes,
yeah, but
Hagelin.
Before these younger guys you're naming, Torts had who we have Callahan,
Girardi, Stahl,
Gerard, Stahl before he had these younger guys, and that was a team that even did well, and it was mediocre. I mean, he had guys that were up and coming, but nobody ever panned out to be a superstar. And just everywhere he goes, he does the same thing. It's just incredible to me. It really is. I love the guy. I love his swagger. I love that he does not give a shit what anybody thinks. I love that he says what the fuck he has to say. He's my kind of guy.
And I love that we're not even talking about Lou Lamoriello, who is the GM of the Islanders. And I got to say, he's another person that shipped off Jonathan Toews. And oh boy, did he know what he had in the back end in Barzal, Beauvillier, in Pajot, moving him, getting him at the deadline, of really just everyone on that roster. Brock Nelson coming alive in playoffs. Like, I got to say, very, very impressed by what's happening. And Adam Pelech, like, come on. Like, he was a stud all playoffs as well. I can't believe I didn't even mention him in the defense that are just guys up and coming all over the league. And you got to say, he's putting together a program there. And the fact that he knew he could do it without John Tavares, who I revere as one of the best hockey players in the league. He's not Nathan McKinnon. He's not McDavid. He's not Matthews.
Not anymore, but at one point.
But he was. He was.
And let's be honest. I mean,
he's still great. He's
not very far off. He's not very far off.
But come on, like when you talk about those players, I also think there's a separate echelon, and I also think, Panarin's slightly above him, right? There are players, but he is still one of the top, 20 in the NHL. Let's be very honest. And I got to say, moving a guy like that off and just knowing you're going to be fine. When I saw that trade, I was like, Islanders, you dummies. You're out of it. You're gone. You're over. You're has-been.
It made them go over the hump.
And I think they are coming for the East.
He doesn't want to pay mega money. I mean, and that's what worries me about maybe a Barzal offer sheet. Like, does he let a guy who right now there's no way you can let him go? Like, do you think he's prepared to pay?
He's about to hit the peak of his career. He's incredible. You
keep
Barzal
prepared to pay. If somebody offer sheets him $9.5 to $10 million, do you think he's prepared to pay $10.5 to $11 million a year for Matt Barzal? Because Panarin gets it, and Panarin's 27, turning 28, and you have a guy in Matt Barzal who's maybe 23. I mean, he's not even in the prime of his career. He's got another 2 years, maybe.
I think no. You got to give him the bridge deal. Got to give him the bridge deal. Get him the bridge deal.
Happening with a guy of that caliber. Rangers
He's so good. He was so fast. He was flying around.
If Lafreniere has a third season, his season going into the contract year, where he scores 30 and puts up 50, what do you think the Rangers are going to have to do?
We're going to have to go
30, 50, 30, 60, and he's 20 years old, 19 years old. He's going to say, pay me, baby. Time for the sheets. And the Rangers are going to have to come in and give him like a 7-year deal at $7 million. Lock him in Nathan McKinnon style.
It's a great idea, though. We need that because then we hope that there's no more pandemics and we could just grow the revenue and figure it the fuck out, right? But damn, okay. A lot to think about here. But Lou Lamoriello shipped off Johnny Toews, created an incredible team.
Brisbois did, for sure. I mean, I was going to talk a little shit, but then at the end of the day, you look at these moves he made that made the team win the cup. I mean,
grabbing Patty Maroon,
huge piece. Pat Maroon, humongous piece. I mean, you don't know if Stevie Y was going to grab those guys.
Maybe not. Maybe too much skill.
He went out and over a first-round pick to put Blake Coleman on his third and fourth line, and it panned out. He scored some huge goals in positions
he scored the game winner in Game 6. He scored
where bigger guys weren't finishing. You had the Blake Colemans and the Maroons and the Sorellis and these guys finishing at moments where they needed to finish. So I mean, you got
Shattenkirk, Sorelli.
Another move that Brisbois made. Shattenkirk, another signing, $1.75 million for 1 year. Look at how that panned out. had like 42 points or something like that in the regular season, and then had an absolutely incredible playoff.
Yep. Put in big goals, overtime.
Great job in the win. Jim Nill also at Corey Perry. You picked up what's his face, Joe Pavelski, what's his face, Captain America himself, who had an incredible playoff. What do you have? 10 goals, 11 goals, more?
No, more. I think he had 12. It was something ridiculous.
Yeah, dude. So I mean, just all three of these guys deserving of being in the category, but nobody beats Lou Lamoriello this year. Just an incredible. Right. And on to the next one.
Let's go. Willie O'Ree Community Hero Award. Dan PBR. I don't really know much about this guy. So he's just a Calgary resident, played professionally in the International Hockey League, West Coast Hockey, and he's currently providing just hockey programs to support in South Asia and other ethnic communities and connecting parents and players to resources to play hockey. So just a guy out there just really kind of making it happen for a different community that probably has never even seen a sheet of ice like a hockey rink, right? Sure. Like other than figure skating. Like basically, unless they're figure skating, maybe curling, but we're really trying to get people into hockey. So not going to touch on this one too much, but I mean, hats off to the guy. I mean, that's what we want. We want more people in the sport. So let's go. I mean, 2.8 million watching the Stanley Cup is pathetic. Let's go.
Yeah, pathetic. Mark Messier, my guy.
First ever
Ranger to hoist the Stanley Cup from the
ever Mark Messier Leadership Award from Gary Bettman, not from Gary Bettman, but from somebody.
Love this
from somebody.
Mark Giordano.
So it exemplifies great leadership qualities on and off the ice and plays a leading role in the community growing hockey. Don't know how this one's much different than the other one in terms of,
basically, I would say, shout out. I mean, because Mark Messier does do a lot in the South Bronx and Connecticut and in some rough communities, bringing hockey to those guys. So maybe just kind of giving an opportunity to give a local citizen, somebody that's not much of an NHL player, an award, and then still give an NHL player award.
Listen, is there anyone that was a better captain than Mark Messier? He was the captain, the still quintessential captain. What captains should admire to be was Mark Messier.
I mean, the guy actually guaranteed a victory and then went out and scored a fucking hat trick. So, I mean, it doesn't.
We will win Game 6.
Yeah, and then I'm going to finish the hat trick on an empty netter to just bury the Devs in Game 6, down 3-2. Headed for Game 7, and just
Stefan Matteau.
Unfortunately, history is history, and it's time for the Rangers to bring another one because it's been a little bit too long of a wait here and now. But not really much to touch on. Very similar to the O'Ree Trophy. Giordano, an absolute captain out there in Calgary. From what I've heard, the boys love him. Every interview I hear of a Calgary guy, they do nothing but rave about him. So hats off to you. Excited for you. Another award for another big-time player in the NHL.
But, I mean, that's it. I'm just going to agree with you on that. Like, great for Mark Giordano. Happy to see him grab that award. I mean, happy to see him grab the first Mark Messier award and for leadership. And really, he's a massive piece of that Calgary team. And I know you're hot on the Flames. You're super hot on the Flames. You love the Stampede, and it's a great team. And I know they're going to be coming for it in the Western Conference. But I mean, that's really it, fans, for all the awards. I know we went through a lot of them, talked a lot about the NHL Stanley Cup, just kind of post-game wrap-up, but kind of longer episode probably than we were expecting here at the Lamp. But we hope you enjoyed, hope you like, share, tune in to everything. We're going to be coming to you live October 6th for the draft while we draft Alexis Lafreniere. So tune in. Please be aware. Please, we're going to go live on YouTube, live on Facebook. Please chat with us because it's going to be great. It's going to be our first time, and we're really excited about it.
Very excited. It's going to be big time stuff, especially getting to watch, after all that debacle of me screaming about the first overall, finally getting to watch the Rangers actually bring the pick home and
5 days, baby.
hopefully not going to do anything crazy or irrational, and we're going to bring home the best player in the draft for sure. So
60-point player, year one. 60-point player.
Year content to come up here. Like Tim said, just if you could like, share, follow, push it along here, and pop up for our little live event coming up here on the 6th. That would be awesome. We appreciate you guys.
All right, fans, we're tuning out. You have a great night.